Hi students, how often have you faced this situation? When one minute your parents tell you, you cannot do that, you're still a child. You cannot stay out late, you are still a child. And the next minute you hear these words, do your own thing, you're no longer a child, you're a grown-up. Do that on your own. You're no longer a child. Isn't it very confusing? Yes, it is. Well, most teenagers or children in the age group of 13 to 19 or those who are on the threshold of teenage face these mixed feelings. Don't you? Well, to add to all this confusion, since it is adolescence period and teenagers are going through rapid changes, hormonal changes, behavioral changes, physical changes, mental, intellectual, all types of changes, and so much to cope. So, what do teenagers do? How do they respond? Parents are constantly instructing, reprimanding, nagging. Obviously, the intention is good. They want to mold the teenagers into good citizens of society. But constant nagging, constant instructions sometimes do hit hard. And teenagers find their own ways to cope with this. Some become extremely rebellious, argumentative. Tantrums, outbursts, they shout, they scream. Even if they know what their parent is telling is correct or right, they just want to rebel. They just want to prove them wrong. Some teenagers withdraw into their own shell. They become very withdrawn, quiet, moody, sulky. And some travel into their own imaginative world, their own dream world, their own space. It's like a space bubble where no one can intrude. No one can tell them what to do and what not to do. They create their own rules in that space bubble, just like Amanda does in the poem Amanda. So shall we travel into Amanda's space bubble? Let's do that. In this poem written by Klein, Amanda, a little girl, is constantly being instructed, scolded by her parents. It could most probably be her mother, as mothers are usually held responsible for the conduct of their child. In response, Amanda doesn't shout back, or she isn't rude. So how does Amanda react? Let's check that out. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. In the first stanza, Amanda's mother keeps instructing her or scolding her for biting her nails. She tells Amanda to stop that bad habit of biting her nails. Amanda's mother orders Amanda to sit straight and not slouch. She tells her not to hunch her shoulders. This is probably because she doesn't want Amanda to develop a bad posture or to develop any bad habits. Her intentions are definitely noble, but they come across as nagging. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. In the second stanza, Amanda escapes into her dream world. She imagines herself to be a mermaid, moving slowly, happily, in a carefree manner, in a green, calm sea. She feels she's the sole inhabitant. This tells us that she wishes to be alone, away from anyone. Amanda imagines herself as a mermaid. A mermaid is a mythical or imaginary sea creature with the head and trunk of a woman and a lower body and tail of a fish. Mermaids symbolize freedom, so probably Amanda thinks of her freedom when she imagines herself to be a mermaid, drifting blissfully, carefree in a green emerald sea. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes. Amanda? In the third stanza, the poet takes us back to reality, the real world, where Amanda's mother is asking her about her homework, her unclean room, and her dirty shoes. She keeps telling her to clean her room and to clean her shoes. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden. The freedom is sweet. In the fourth stanza, Amanda has drifted back into her world of imagination. Now she dreams that she is an orphan. An orphan is a child with no parents. Amanda dreams that she's roaming the streets with no shoes. Bare feet means wearing no shoes. Making patterns in the soft dust. In fact, she wants no restrictions at all. So if she wears no shoes, there will be no question about cleaning her shoes. To her, silence is precious like gold, and freedom from parents or from the constant nagging of her parents is sweet. It gives her a beautiful taste of life. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you? Amanda. Amanda's mother reprimands her or scolds her for eating chocolate, which leads to acne. It is said that sweets, pastries, junk food, oily food, which we crave for, are all reasons for acne or pimples or any skin problems. These issues are all part of adolescence, very common among teenagers. But Amanda's mother scolds her and makes her aware of these problems constantly. And so probably Amanda hides her face or looks away. Amanda also gets scolded for avoiding her mother and looking elsewhere. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. In this stanza, Amanda travels back to her fairy tale world and imagines herself as Rapunzel. Let's try to know who Rapunzel was. And why does Amanda want to be the heroine of this fairy tale? Rapunzel is a German fairy tale. Rapunzel was kidnapped by a witch and locked up in a tall tower because Rapunzel's parents did not fulfill a promise that they had made to that witch. So she took away Rapunzel to punish them and locked her up in a tall tower. Rapunzel is synonymous with long, golden, strong hair which she let down for the witch to climb up. Every time the witch came from out, she stood at the base of the tall tower and shouted, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your golden hair." And then she climbed up with the help of Rapunzel's hair. Amanda wishes to be Rapunzel as she seeks peace and harmony. She feels life in the tower would be so peaceful and calm and different from her everyday life, which is full of continuous nagging. And she also promises never to let down her bright hair, to allow anyone to enter her tower and disturb her peace. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you. Amanda? Amanda is pushed back to reality in the seventh stanza. Her mother is scolding her for being moody and sulking all the time.
But probably this is because Amanda's mother keeps nagging her. Amanda cannot ignore her or be rude to her, so probably she sulks and escapes into her imaginative world.
So my dear students, what do you do when you have to face a barrage of questions or instructions? How do you react? Remember, your parents love you. I hope you've enjoyed this poetry, Amanda, and you have learned something from it. Bye.